How exciting! How exciting! 52 warrants! Did anybody see yesterday? Before they were signed by the Sergeant of Arms? Did the Sergeant of Arms personally affix his signature to every single one of those warrants before he deputized people to go out and arrest the people that had been identified and named on those warrants? Did he? Well, there's legal matters, and then there's going to be considerations of precedent and whether or not this qualifies as serious crime on a lot of levels. But then there's the Texas way, right? And I just have this aversion because sometimes you find conflicting stories about what's going on in Texas, who Texas is. So sometimes what you got to do is get a little context because, in the history of Texas, a lot of people that were very important in Texas, they weren't born in Texas. They were born in other places. And then they came to Texas and they became a part of the history of Texas. So it's a question of, well, if you're not born in Texas, how do you understand Texas? How does Texas receive you? I spent time before coming to Texas in a homeless shelter in Chicago with other women. And one night we were playing cards. We played hearts. You ever played hearts? Hmm? Four people game. Hearts is a lot like bridge. Personally, I prefer bridge. In both games, you need a partner, right? This one thing happened. I did this thing I do. I went through the deck. I looked at the back of every card in the deck. And I said to myself, what? There are some very, very, very subtle problems with the backs of these cards. There's just a little bit of something that doesn't seem uniform. Maybe some bleed in the ink. Maybe a smear or a smudge. And I said, if I was doing an inspection of the deck, I would disqualify these cards. There were 13 of them. That was 1/4 of the deck. I said, obviously the deck's rigged, so I'm not taking any stake in this game. I wouldn't bet on this game because I already know the deck is rigged. And even if I won, I would know the deck was rigged. And so it wouldn't be a real victory. Because there would always be the allegation that it was tainted to begin with. So it wasn't a real victory. It was almost like a double sort of shortcoming. I knew the deck was rigged. I still was willing to play, and I still was willing to gamble with a rigged deck. With the understanding that if I lost, well, I would always be able to say the deck was rigged, right? So I announced up front, if you want to continue to play, just to play in a friendly manner, I can do that, and that would be great to be able to play, get to know you. But if there's anything being staked on this game, I'm out already because I already know the deck is marked. Well, it was just a friendly game, right? Me and the other 3 women there. I mean, they were in Texas now. And I was on the streets for a considerable amount of time. So every once in a while, you see something on the street. Maybe it has a particular significance to you. I understand for some people culturally, finding things like that, mementos or some sort of token, it has a certain kind of significance. Well, since I've been allowed to stay indoors, I've every once in a while just found a random playing card from a deck of cards on the street. How many have I found? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Right before me, I have 13 playing cards I found on the street. This one. This one, right? This one. 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 And this one. Is this my hand? If I'm correct, there's at least 3 other at the table, right? Who else did you set up for this kind of gamble? I'm not naive. I know you did. Now, would you say Joker's acceptable? How about 2? How about 3? How about a card with no face? Huh? Well, you know, there's some other cards I found. They're not playing cards, though. They're something else. See it from the back. That looks like a playing card, doesn't it? But it's not. There's 3 of these guys. Look at this. I'm not going to show you what they are, right? And that's the whole point. There's another one here. This one I got from McDonald's, right? Now, did I get it directly from McDonald's? Or did somebody else get it from McDonald's and then dump it on the street for me to find? Are we about to find out? The early part of this year, the priorities that had been announced for this legislative session included 3 things. What were they? What were the 3 priorities that were presented to the press as being the legislative priorities for this year? I already had all of these cards before that time, just so you know. I had them in a box. There's supposed to be something else in here. This was supposed to be for something else. But unfortunately, what you gave me to fill it was this. And this.